Hey there, welcome back to Elden Ring. We are currently still right down in the deep root depths, so there's a lot for us to check out here, so we're just going to start going. We've got Mausoleum Knights, stuff to do with death, Godwin. There's friggin' ants, which we haven't really seen here. This milky water all over the place. Gargoyles that are breathing aromatic fire at us. Let's take care of this Mausoleum soldier. Even the horse is headless, man. Now, those strikes are inflicting death blight on us. Now, you can see they've got that eclipse sign for the soulless, to prevent destined death from afflicting them, to, ward it off. Now, it's interesting because it's like a, it's a, what's the word? A colorless sun. A sun drained of color, which seems significant to me, right? Oh, yeah, here we go. There's another side of grace. Perfect. And so, with the flames, right? Destined Death having to do with, the black flames and sometimes have this red. So draining it of color would, somehow, take away its potency in some way, maybe, right? What grace is this? The Nameless Eternal City. Oh, okay. So, Nameless Eternal City. So we have two other ones. We've got Nokron. We've got Noxtella. Noxtella is over here, right? And so River, Dragonkin Soldier of Noxtella. So somewhere around here. And then this one, we've got Nokron. Both of these have ties with rivers, right? We've got the Ainsel River. We've got the Schiefer River. Both of them have stuff to do with aqueducts, and controlling the water and stuff seems pretty important. And then we've got ourselves this source, a lake maybe, right? An underground lake. And another Eternal City, Nameless City, that is maybe somehow a progenitor for the others. And we got ancient runes here, old sarcophagus and stuff. Now we know the mausoleums have stuff to do with some of these Eternal Cities, because there was they have the same structure, the same design as the Eternal Cities. And there's even a mausoleum compound, which maybe should have been underground. And anytime we see these Mausoleum Knights, what do we see? What are we going to find? A walking mausoleum right there, housing a soulless demigod. Now, right over here, some other building. We can see there's, let's see, I swear I saw some spring jumps. All right, so now we've got ourselves a spring jump right here. Been kind of just skirting the edge along. Looks like some other structures there. I mean, we're going to have to get up. Well, right here is a giant tree. Or I would say the old remains of a giant tree, right? Or it's the actual base of the Erd tree, even though the Erd tree thing seems to pop down way over there. So maybe not quite right. I don't know. It's hard to say. But, I mean, we can see all these, look at all the roots and stuff digging out and around. Where is it? It's that over there. Part of those sections. Let's go up and see what we're going to find. Broken old tree right there. And a Crucible Knight. Okay. Look how blackened that section looks. Hold on, look at that. Oh, hello. Crucible Knight Siluria. Okay, so another named one, like Ordovis. This one's got a spear. Now, in his armor, it does mention that there is one of two chiefmost or foremost among the Crucible Knights who served Godfrey, the Lord of the Battlefield. So I wonder why they chose to serve him, right? Because like I said, he doesn't necessarily seem to have anything to do with the Crucible. He's just battle, right? So unless they're somehow interested in battle, I guess it's just a fascination. I'm not really sure. Cool armor, right? We mentioned it before, fighting that one earlier in the Eternal City at the Schiefer Aqueduct. Nope, this one's got the grab. There we go again. Beautiful staggers, man. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, that was straight up half of my health. Heal it up. Sorry. So I wonder we'll get her stuff, right? Siluria's tree. All right. Siluria's tree, weapon of one of the two honored as foremost among the Crucible Knights. The primordial form of the Erd tree is close in nature to life itself, and this spear, modeled on its crucible, is imbued with ancient holy essence. So that whole winding crazy thing there is like kind of how the crucible might have looked, right? That crucible of life, primordial crucible, not a crucible of life, right? It says it's close close to the essence of life itself, but not actually it. So it's a pretty crazy winding looking thing, right? It's even got some of the like black dot looking things in there, like on the armor. And here we find Crucible Tree helm and armor. Crucible Knights who serve Godfrey the First Elden Lord. The great tree ornamentation is the Knight Siluria's mark, displayed also by her men. It holds the power of the Crucible of Life, the primordial form of the Erd tree. So I guess it does say the Crucible of Life, even though I just thought it was kind of the primordial crucible. It strengthens aspects, right? Formed by Siluria. Interesting look, like kind of twisted again, you know, that helix thing. And down below, look how it's maybe like roots that then twist and twine up to make like a tree trunk per se, like maybe, perhaps. And again, those like the black dot things are interesting. Fur looking thing. The gold ornamentation is maybe twisty, knotty, like crucible stuff. The dot things is like, it's almost like eyes maybe. I know, it's so bizarre. It's so cool looking though. We now have a crap ton of runes, and there are a bunch of Mausoleum Knights. And if you actually look all along in the city, this Nameless City fallen to ruins, there's a bunch of gargoyles. Now, why is this city in such disrepair? And if one of my first thoughts could be that it's simply older than the other two, because the others have been, you know, dropped beneath the ground, right? But they're kind of in decent shape. But even then, you can see there's a bunch that are kind of like building-y things that are toppled over, like kind of hanging upside down. No hanging upside down in this one, though. It's all on the ground, right? Now, was this place also caught in the conspiracy that Nokron seemed to have been? Or was it Nokron alone that was caught in the conspiracy? But they all seem to have pretty close ties in with each other, because they're all still eternal cities. Now, the next thought, as far as like how it got busted up and broken, is it all these like all the roots and things, is proximity to what might have been the Great Tree, and then what later came on to be the Erd Tree. Like simply its proximity to all that just like led to its eventual disrepair. That is a nasty looking tree. And look there, it's like spiky growths and stuff. I'm gonna go around and try and get a better look at all that. Lots of Mausoleum Knights. I do not care to fight all of them. Another angle. It's like sludged out all along there before it like shoots upwards. Looks pretty crazy. Okay. I mean, look at how all these roots just like stretch out and about all the way around everywhere, man. So I'm kind of thinking, and I'm wondering if part of the reason some of the, like, because we fought a bunch of Crucible Knights here, right? Fought one here. We fought a couple way down at the aqueduct down here too, right? And I'm wondering, like, those two were probably seeking their way up here maybe. And the reason you find Siluria here is because this is kind of like at the base of the Erd tree, and the Erd tree was like part of the Crucible, or that's what it was in its like primordial form. Maybe that's why they would be here, because like that's like where their namesake comes from. That's what they, you know, were originally based on. So they just wanted to be back at their origins. Another rune bear. There's an item up there too. Some way to get up. All right, come on back over, bud. You and me got work to do. Oh, he does a beast roar ability. Well, it's not my fault that you're far away. It's yours. Down he goes. What did he drop? Prince of Death's cyst. So a little different from the other one, right? This Prince of Death's pustule. This is a cyst, right? And though in this one it says, it is said that this pustule came from the visage of the Prince of Death, he who used to be called Godwyn, as first dead of the demigod that said he's buried deep under the capital at the Erd tree's roots. it's crazy how like he's got like multiple face things like sprouting up and growing. It's so crazy. Also note that it's taken from facial flesh. Overgrown cyst taken from facial flesh. It is said that this cyst came from the corrupted visage of one unable to die a true death. Indeed, it comes from the Prince of Death, scion of the Golden Bough, and the first of the dead among the demigods. Look on his forehead how it's got that emblem. It's like what we saw underneath Stormveil. Alright, item over here. What have we got? Prince of Death's staff. Okay. That's something. Staff embedded with sullied amber. Said to be a very part of the Prince of Death, it enhances death sorceries. One of the staves deemed heretical by the Academy for its ability to allow sorceries to be augmented through faith in addition to intelligence. Okay, and it does. It takes intelligence and faith. It boosts death sorceries. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, see there's that black in the amber. Got that twisted look to it. So it's crazy that you can cast with it, because like they make it seem like you need glintstone in order to be able to cast your various sorceries, right? But there's a Staff of Loss which doesn't require it. I mean, that one obviously doesn't require it because it's using amber, though amber and glintstone are related to each other in some way. So there is that to consider. But I guess maybe that amber part of it, maybe that is part of like what, makes it able to use faith in addition to your intelligence, right? But they consider that heretical, like why would they consider that heresy? I guess because it's just not pure to their thoughts. So maybe, right? So when Rajir, right? Rajir is considered heretical, right? That's the hat he's wearing. So maybe he wasn't even really doing anything too like crazy and outlandish, right? Maybe he was just looking at things in a different way, and just that alone was enough for the sorcerers to say like, nope, no, that is heresy. We do not do that here. You are wrong. All right, so we can jump off there. We could try and go up that way. Oh, there's a site of grace right there. I'm gonna pick that up because that is going to make a nice little shortcut for us. Well, let's go ahead and check this out because this looks important. This is also right near where that big pustule nastiness was at, right? Or a tree thing. And even like already look at the water. It's like purpled. Man. Look at the head, dude. It's like a disturbing, like, mollusk-looking thing. Half opened up was like, I guess that might have been his hair, but his face is like inverted upside down, right? And see, and there's his like torso that goes down into like a fishtail, a drapery of black cloth, like, look at all the tendrils webbing out from him, just spiking out. You can see his arms there, bangles. Even on his arms, he's got like webbed finning kind of thing coming off. And then right there, eyes. And see that ring in there? It's that like white ring. It's a lot like an eclipse look, right? So maybe the eclipse symbol is less of like, a literal, and more of like a figurative, right? Or like a symbolic, because his eyes have that look like it's supposed to be an eclipse of sorts. And see how it's white, because that's the color. His eyes are devoid of color, so maybe that's why it's that, and that's supposed to be the ward off from destined death, because he's alive and those are the eyes. Yeah. And then it's just like a big spike, like jutting up. Are those more eyes working his way up? It's like the whole thing is turned like flesh. It's like one giant deathroot spike. It's how we like get stabbed up by deathroot. Is that like what's happening here? And it's like jutting up towards, the surface. That's it right there, right? And Godwin buried right there. It's like, see, that's like his head, and there's the arms. So, yeah. And luckily these roots don't seem overall like really like sick, but still. Why? I mean, he wasn't always fish-like, right? Like, he wasn't always, like, half mer-looking. Super purple water, too. So, I mean, these transformations kind of happened, like, after he died. All the flies flying around, the, like, rotted nastiness. Look, there's just huge masses of it coming off there. Huh. And he's still got that thing on his forehead, which is really weird looking. There's a sending gate there. Ooh. Who are you? Fia's champion. He's got like a ephemeral looking cloak, helmet, twin blade. Okay. Kind of getting smoked right now. No big deal. Got him. Okay. Fia's champion though, right? Because she was interested with like Godwin, right? And those who live in death. Rajir. I mean, they spent a lot of time together, right? He would often talk about how he's looking for her. She gave us the knife print clue, right? She led us to a lot of this, didn't she? Ooh, sorry, bud. Alright, who's next? 3, okay. Whoa. Double dude with big giant axes, pumpkin head. Got him. And Endure, okay. We got Lionel the Lionhearted. He helped us fight Radon, and he's doing hex sorceries. I don't know if he did that before when fighting Radon, did he? Like, I didn't notice it at any rate. Maybe he just didn't have a good opportunity. Oh, a quick step Carrion Slicer. Carrion Slicer is pretty deadly. The stagger from him is absolutely disgusting for that. I want her to be gone, though, because that Slicer is super dangerous. It's actually playing like a friggin' person, dude. Oh, didn't level up Vigor, though. Oh, you thought that was going to work out. Sorry, bud. Nice. Good finish. Any more? Fia herself. Oh, we got Fia's Mist. And there she is. So it is a sorcery. Sorcery of Fia, the Deathbed Companion. It creates a deathly mist before the caster, which inflicts death blight upon those who enter. It can be cast in motion. The sorcery was developed to oppose the Round Table Hold and is effective only against the Tarnished. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Ah, there you are. I knew you would come. What is it you intend? To deny us and our ways, like the dogmatic brutes of the Golden Order?
No, no, I want to be held, right? Just some warm comfort, right? Because like I don't really agree with like what the Golden Order seems to be doing. Like they're not right now, right? Now, granted, I would be okay letting those who live in death just live in death and be their thing. Except every time we see them, they try and kill us, right? And death blight is bad for us. But no, we'll go with this option.
You are an odd one.
Indeed.
I am the guardian of those who live in death. They call me a foul and rotten witch. Yet you still wish to be held by me?
I still have that Baldachin's Blessing I have not used. Talk in secret.
Have you ever seen a Hallowbrand? When the first of the demigods died, his flesh was marked with the half-wheel wound of the centipede. Godwin's Hallowbrand has since been recovered at the Round Table Hold. But there is another Hallowbrand out there somewhere, and I must find it before the time comes we receive our Lord.
So that was the one that she had, right? Like she showed us, and it was like, oh, show him this dagger, right? And he was like, okay, yeah, I know what to do with it, and that's he went off, and then that's when he got murdered, right? That was the other half of the Hallowbrand, and now we have the other half, right?
When Godwyn died, a Hallowbrand scored his flesh, but another exists. Another, and I must, before the time my hands will be dirtied once more by the deed. Will you still let me hold you, even then?
Give the curse mark of death, because what else are we going to do with it, right? But to see, Ronnie understood a little bit of like what that road could have led to, because as she's like, oh, you also have a dark path. So it's this like conjoining of the two half wheels, right? The wounds across the sacred like demigod bodies.
This is the other Hallowbrand. How did you? Oh, my utmost thanks. With this, Godwyn can take his rightful place as first of the dead and claim a second, illustrious life. You are our true champion. And though I can't be of any use to you, can I hold you tight? If only for a moment.
Squeezing. No. Radiant Baldukin's blessing. So I like this like stuff that's happening here, because like I don't know really anything about Godwyn outside of the fact that he befriended Fortissax. He was maybe some kind of badass dude, right? In general, it just seems like he was like awesome, right? He was Godwyn the Golden, like he was the Golden for a reason. And it seemed a lot like his death was like a kind of a tragedy, right? But then he didn't die a true death. It was just like part of some other sequence. And then what she's doing here, giving, you know, having both parts of this whole Hallowbrand is like a chance for him to like maybe die a true death, or give him a second chance at actually like living again, right? And not being stuck in what he has right now.
I will soon lay with Godwyn, and it will surely stir within me the new life of the Golden Prince, and first dead of the demigods, as the rune of those who live in death. Please, do one thing for me. Brandish this child, my rune, and take for yourself the throne. Stay the persecution of those who live in death by becoming our Elden Lord. I will soon to conceive my child, the rune. Brandish my rune, and take for yourself the throne. Stay the persecution by becoming.
So she's going to come up with some new rune for the Elden Ring, for the rune of those who live in death, because the Golden Order is persecuting them, because they believe in like the sanctity of the Golden Order in order, and because those who live in death live outside of their order, their supposed thing, right? They won't abide it. But also they're not doing it right, because like the description says with Goldmask, how he lamented what became of them, how even the good they were seeking just like some ultimate evil and foe to fight against, and they found it in those who live in death, but like they maybe shouldn't have done it as such, right? Now, what does the Radiant Baldukin's blessing say? I wish you could carry more of them. Like, I like this. I like them. Like, they're cool items, and I need to use this one actually. Protection of a hidden temple in the guise of a bedchamber. This blessing is of the utmost rarity. The effect lasts longer than a mere favor. It is said that a deathbed companion will only produce a blessing of this kind for a champion but once in her entire life, the sole blessing which she imbues with her own volition. And then like this one, the favor allows one to forget any aches and pains. In death, there is only peace, for in death, there can be no sensation. So it's just an ease of passage into death. Now, something else that I find kind of interesting, this idea that she's going to lay here and somehow like conceive a child. I don't want to delve into weird implications there, right? But the child will be the rune. Now, a lot of how that is, it's making me think of Bloodborne, how there is a lot to do with like, kind of like, children, the unborn, birthing a new beginning, things like that. There's the stuff with the umbilical cords and stuff. So I feel like there's some interesting kind of tie-ins there as well. Kind of like it's striking a similar chord to me. But we'll go ahead and hit the Site of Grace. And it is the Prince of Death's throne. Yeah.
This is goodbye, my dear, but I am satisfied. I choose to lie with Godwin of my own will, not the remains of one chosen for me, and I will bear a child who will inherit your warmth too. What greater blessing could there be but to be born a deathbed companion? This is good, but I choose, and I will inherit. What greater...
Yeah, I mean, because when you first talked to her, she talked about how she was chosen to lie with some noble lord and give him life again. But then that's when she became tarnished and was chased out, right? And so now she gets to make this choice of being here and do this task, like this role is purpose, right? It's finally her own volition, right? And there she is, asleep. The eye just watching down is just so touch. Enter the deathbed dream. She is moving, so she's dreaming. So maybe, right, she somehow in this like dream is like how she's conceiving this idea, this child, this rune for their people. I'm like clipping through the rock, which is kind of obnoxious. Lich Dragon Fortissax. Look at the sky and stuff, dude. It's like gnarly swords looking. And that's Fortissax the Dread. Look, he's got golden in his chest, lightning dropping down, leaving bits of freaking deaths on the ground. Oh, giant shockwaves, right? Oh my lord. Oh, there's a lot of damage. Get ready for the next one. Roll again. Okay, so Fortissax. The Dread Fortissax. He befriended, or Godwin befriended him. We got red lightning on us that seems to drop at sparks after a brief delay. But he was friends with Godwin. And so it doesn't explain what happened to this guy when Godwin was assassinated, right? Because if they were actually friends, you imagine he probably would have been pretty upset by the whole thing. Look at the way his ribcage is. You know what it looks like? That Draconic Tree Sentinel's chest armor. It's definitely modeled on them, right? Now, the other thing to note is you look around, specifically, or in particular, on his head and neck, you can see spikes of Deathblight coming out. Look at that big old lightning spear thing onto the ground. Shockwave out. Poke him in the face. There we go. So we have fought his sister. Now we're fighting him. He's just completely blackened though too, right? Look how cool that is. Deathland Sax Glaive. Oh, it's so freaking cool, man. Oh, I didn't use my physic. But yeah, he should be all stone scaled, but like instead it's just like, it's double. 1, 2. Like it should be stony, but he's blackened, and there's a lot of gold on him. Like with Lane Sax, it was like, oh, this could be bad for us. She had it like primarily just like on the underside of her wings, right? This could be really bad still. We're okay. Now the question too is like, why is he here, right? This is the deathbed's dream, and it's tied in with Godwin, owie, and how she's like conceiving this rune. And so is like this like some like dream of Godwin? Does he have this like vision of Fortissax still being there or something? I could like to hit his head. Oh, that's unfortunate. Owie. It's such an awesome soundtrack too. I'm having a lot of trouble hitting him with the thrusting sword and stuff, which means I should probably use something else. Oh. Run away, run away, run away. Get him in the gooch. Uh-oh, the lightning got me. Waiting for that lightning strike. There it is. Fully charged. Oh, are you serious? I missed. Can you stop, sir? I'm trying to hit you. I'm missing. Oh, I'm missing everything. stab him in the foot. A little anticlimactic, but we did it. Remembrance of the Lich Dragon. And there she is. See how it hovers around? It's just like the runes in, you know, the Divine Towers. When we go to those, right, they do that same thing. So it's like a great rune. But like a new one, though. A new one. Receive a Mending Rune. Mending Rune of the Death Prince. Can't interact with her, though. Rune gestated by Fia, the Deathbed Companion. Used to restore the fractured Elden ring when brandished by the Elden Lord. Formed of the two Hallowbrand half-wheels combined, it will embed the principle of life within death into order. The Golden Order was created by confining destined death. Thus, this new order will be one of death restored. See, that's part of why I really like this for this ending, right? Because they confined destined death, right? Malekith defeated the Glowmide Queen, like sealed away its power, right? And then by having it portion of it stolen, it led to these like half deaths and other conspiracies and stuff. And so by combining this and re-adding it into the Elden Ring, it will, you know, reestablish the Golden Order, change its like function, right? And I really like that. I like the idea of that. It is a shame that she's now seems to be either dead or completely passed out. So like we'll have to rest and see like from there. We have enough runes to level up as well. Oh, we didn't read the memory. Oh.
Prince of Death, take a good long look. See the wrath of the Golden Order, the Order's justice writ in blood. This is what's become of your precious witch. Naught but expired meat and bone. This is a proper death, O Prince. Look at this rotten whore. No more children can be got from this useless flesh. Behold, your mother is dead.
What an absolute...
Is revenge, you witch, and you ghoul. This is the wrath of D.
What an absolute psychotic like rant. Look at him standing there like brandishing it up.
Hello.
He seems to regain the ability to talk.
Is dead. The Golden Order unsullied. Now I can look my brother Darian in the eye. Honeyed rays of gold deliver my spirit. Darian, now I have no regrets. Honeyed rays of gold deliver my spirit.
Nah, man, like that's Fia's hood, Fia's robe.
The meaning of this
What do you think, dude?
very well.
Very well indeed.
Are a blight, a defiler of the Golden Order and murderer of my
I did nothing to do with your brother.
Die. I'll grind your corpse into that vile wench's rotting remains.
Jesus, dude.
Witch's eternal embrace, just as you wished.
What? This dude is friggin' crazy, man.
How could this? Forgive me. This Darian. Darian.
And he just straight up murdered her, man. So he was here before. He was here before, and he like hacked off the Hallowbrand, and she recovered it from him. And then that's, oh man. Inseparable sword. A sword forged by compounding silver and gold. A sacred weapon to those who live in death. It deals holy damage. The inseparable twins found solace in the Golden Order. the only institution not to revile them as accursed beings. So before one of the previous videos, I was going to say something about how, like, about D and the Golden Order and accepting, right? It's just so hypocritical, right? That, like, they found solace in the Golden Order because it was the only institution to not revile them. And then now what do? Right? They hunt down some other group that is not held to the standard of the Golden Order, who also doesn't hold the, you know, the Misbegotten, the Omen, any of them, right? Like, it's such a hypocritical thing, you know? But, like, kind of great in its own way and how it, you know, working it. And look, even on the hilt, it's 2 figures. Gold and silver. Fia's hood. A hood of black cloth that covers the whole head, worn by Fia, the deathbed companion, on her journey after being exiled from her home. The fabric itself is soft as silk. The fabric itself is soft as silk and thin enough that those embraced can feel every pulse, every bit of her warmth. And there is a sort of, like, satisfaction in the idea that, like she said, like, the warmth she took was a warmth of, like, a champion, like us, as a true champion that would go on to live in, like, the order, the Mending Rune that we brought, and, like, the new life that it's going to bring about, right? And how there could be new life and death. Like, I don't know. I like the whole thing. But that is going to be, well, no, it's not it. Let's take the Sending Gate. Where would this take us? If we did all of this, and then we're like, all right, let's take this, where do we go? Ladendale, Royal Capital. Spits us right out here. You see, right here. Look at that. Interesting. We also have to read Fortissax stuff. Remembrance of Lich Dragon Fortissax. After Godwyn the Golden became the Prince of Death, the ancient dragon fought long and hard against the death within its companion. Alas, victory was never achieved, and its only reward was corruption. I get, like, tingles reading that. He just, like, he fought so hard for his companion, for his friend. They were just friends. Such good friends. And he couldn't beat it. The only thing he got was corruption, and we saw it there at the end, right? And I wonder if somewhere in that mangled form of Godwyn, if Fortissax isn't actually somewhere in there, which is why in the dream you can see Fortissax, why you end up fighting him. Fortissax Lightning Spear. Channels the power of ancient dragon Fortissax, creates 2 spears of red lightning, and stabs them into the ground from above, one after another. On impact, each spear will burst into trails of lightning covering the area. During the War of the Ancient Dragons, these twin red lightning stakes were the hallmark of one ancient dragon, who was called the mightiest Boulder Stone. And then Death Lightning, incantation that channels the power of the ancient dragon Fortissax, now corrupted by death. Strikes surrounding areas or surroundings with storm of death lightning, inflicts death's blight upon foes. Charging will extend the duration of the storm. It is said that this golden lightning was wielded by Godwyn, who befriended Fortissax. Takes so much faith. Oh my gosh, I forgot how much. And that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I always appreciate it when you check it out. And until the next one, take care.